Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I want to thank you in a very special way for choosing our show and for your unwavering support to our channel. I don't take it for granted. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you. And please give this video likes. If you give it many likes, that's one way of promoting this video. And I want to believe that you've begun your Monday in an amazing way. God has been faithful to us. Ladies and gentlemen, the supremacy battle between President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua is never ending. It is rising by the day. But one thing, even before I move on, is that they will never invite us to get into their battle so that we can forget the real elephant in the room. We do understand that we are talking about the Finance Bill 2024 that contains very many punitive taxes, and that William Ruto kind of withdrew or suspended it. And he told us that he's got some austerity measures that he wants to put in place. And the Gen Z told him, we must see you implementing because we don't trust you. It's not the first time that you promise us heaven and then you come out that you cannot even, implement or produce hell. We're also talking about many young lives that have been ended prematurely by the police, the trigger-happy policemen who think that they are more Kenyan than others. So we are not going to get into their war that we forget what we are talking about. We know what we should be talking about. But then this supremacy battle has gone to a notch higher because this time round, it involves their spouses. The problem with the Kenya Kwanza team is that they think that when you're a president, then we also elected your spouse or we elected your daughters and sons. That is why you will see Mama Rachel, our first lady, getting involved either directly or indirectly into the governance of the country. When courts say we are not going to Haiti, Mama Rachel says we are praying for the people who are going to Haiti, our policemen. You've seen the second lady doing the same. And of late, there has been an outcry of the amount of money going into their offices. And we don't know what they are doing with this money. You see Charlene Ruto walking around and telling us that she's meeting youths around and she's telling us that the Father is listening to us, listening to the country, and so we need to respect the government. Let us put a disclaimer that William Ruto is the president and not Mama Rachel, not Charlene or June and all that. They are all Kenyans just like us, but let them not think that they can get involved in the governance of the country, that they want to gag people when things are wrong. And so, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua and his wife lamented very publicly and loudly, chiding William Ruto that William Ruto is trying to sabotage his agenda or their agenda to eradicate eradicate illicit brew in Mount Kenya. Something that Rigathi Gachagua said was finishing the young generation. Rigathi had started this, and together with the second lady, they have been championing calls to close the bars. In fact, at some point, they closed all the bars. But now, Rigathi is saying that Kithure Kindiki, with the full support of William Samoei Ruto, are sabotaging this fight because the member of parliament in Mathira constituency in Nyeri, where Rigathi is coming from, Rigathi is a leader, the second most powerful person in Kenya, the deputy president. He's coming from Mathira, and I think he was before he became a deputy president, he was a member of parliament of Mathira. So the member of parliament who replaced him has got the guts to order opening of the bars that had been closed by an order from Rigathi Gachagua. And Rigathi is breathing fire, and the wife is following suit. They're saying William Ruto is sabotaging them. Kindly listen to Rigathi Gachagua and the second lady.
Mr. President, If you allow overzealous officers at Harambee House with a political scheme to interfere with this war against illicit brew, those people, those officers will set you up against the people. This is a program that the president gave me for 1 year, and we have succeeded to save an entire generation. And you want, because of stupid, primitive politics, to undermine that program, thinking that you are undermining the deputy president. And the political damage you do to the president and the government will not be repaired. The popularity or otherwise of our administration will depend on the interference or non-interference with the war against illicit brews.
How can it be that somebody somewhere decides to take us back where we have come from? Apana. No, this thing must stop. And I will not stop because of a budget. I believe that we can raise this money ourselves.
If you listen to the deputy president and the second lady, you'll notice that, number one, the tone with which the deputy was expressing himself is a very, very harsh tone. He is actually vexed together with the second lady. And Rigathi feels that there is sabotage. And he feels that William Ruto is setting junior officers, like the member of parliament from Madeira, Eric Ombui, and of course the interior cabinet secretary. Now, one thing you'd also notice is that he decided to attack, or rather to address the president in public and directly. And one would ask this question: why couldn't Rigathi Gachagua just decide to pick a phone, give William Ruto a call? I think these are buddies; they are working together, and he tells Ruto that someone is reopening the bars that were closed, but he didn't do that, and we want to look at that. Number two, this issue of closing the bars. Yes, it was initiated by Rigathi Gachagua, but it was passed in a cabinet meeting. You see, the person who heads a cabinet meeting is the president, and of course Rigathi Gachagua is the second in command. They sit in that cabinet. So cabinet secretaries sat down and they gave it the green light. So if someone is trying to sabotage, then Rigathi would take that to the cabinet meeting and they discuss that. He should ask that in a cabinet meeting. Why is Eric Wambui in cahoot with others opening bars? Why is he not asking this in a cabinet meeting? And so that tells you something, that something is wrong. And he's calling out some people in Harambee office, and he means Kithure Kindiki. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand one thing. When William Ruto realized that Rigathi Gachagua had set him up, because when Rigathi came up with this idea of fighting illicit brew and alcohol, it was a noble idea. But then William Ruto soon realized that Rigathi was doing this to gain political mileage, because he wanted to appear as someone who is fighting for the rights of Mount Kenya. This is something he has perpetuated over some months now, and he wants to remain a kingpin. So he wanted to pick a pet idea so that he goes with it. When people look at him, they will see this man is fighting for us. And William Ruto knew this is very dangerous for me, because the day Rigathi Gachagua will succeed in pocketing Mount Kenya, in uniting Mount Kenya, so that they listen to him, then it will be too bad for William Ruto. This is why Rigathi Gachagua said he supports one man, one shillings, one vote. Rigathi has been calling upon Uhuru Kenyatta so that they can unite together. He has apologized now like twice. He's a man on a mission. And you've seen him and their people complaining that he's been denied a chopper, military chopper. And they're saying that Rigathi must be respected. So it was an all-out war. The battle lines had been drawn. And William Ruto knew, I'm not going to support this. Even though it was taken to the cabinet, they approved it, but William Ruto soon realized, Hapa, this is a setup. And he decided he's going to sabotage this. And Rigathi understands what is happening too well. Rigathi also understands that Kithure Kindiki was the man who was elected by members of parliament to depute as William Ruto. Now he has gotten an opportunity to hit directly at Kithure Kindiki to ensure that he sets up Kithure Kindiki against the people of Mount Kenya. Because William Ruto is standing at a point where no one wants him, no one likes him because of the Finance Bill 2024, because of the corruption, because of the high taxes, because of the wastage that has been revealed by independent institutions like the Auditor General's office, like the Controller of Budget's office. So with all this, life has become just too difficult and people don't like him. Anyone who is associating with William Ruto is an enemy of the people. That is why most of the people have been denied a chance to speak in churches. Their homes have been torched. When Gen Z got access into parliament, the members of parliament who voted yes had to hide and vanish. So Rigathi understands that if he tells the people that I'm trying to fight illicit brew, yet Kithure Kindiki is the one who's trying to sabotage, then he's directly associating Kithure Kindiki with William Ruto and is telling them that your enemy is William Ruto and Kithure Kindiki, so that when a chance will appear again, when they will be looking for someone to become a Mount Kenya kingpin and a Mount Kenya spokesperson, Kithure will never give him a run for his money because already he's telling the people that your enemy is Kithure Kindiki. And so he's setting up Kithure Kindiki and William Ruto. He wants to remain a kingpin. Dorcas Gachagua is in this war. And she said something that appears to me that she's angry that her budget allocation in that office was cut and curtailed. And that's why she's saying, I will perpetuate this cause even though the finances to my office have been cut. It seems she's not happy. And in fact, it seems she feels that one of the reasons why this money has been curtailed is because they don't want her to continue the fight against illicit brew. And she says, "A luta continua." So this war is now escalating. You've seen Dorcas uniting and supporting the husband, and they are accusing the president and the cronies or the president's allies. You know, William Ruto has always set younger politicians, not younger but junior politicians, against Rigathi. We've seen Ndindi Nyoro, we've seen Kimani Chungwa talking to Rigathi directly when he said he's supporting one man, one shilling, one vote. Now, a junior politician in Madeira, that is where Rigathi was representing before he became deputy president. That is Rigathi's home turf. Now telling Rigathi, bring it on. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let them continue fighting, but we will not get into this war. We are focused on ensuring that the Finance Bill 2024 does not pass, in ensuring that what he promised the people, austerity measures are implemented. We are supporting the Gen Z, and no one will deter us. No one will bring side issues so that we forget, diversionary tactics. Kenyans know better than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let them continue fighting. We are waiting for 2027 to ask them what they did to the country. That is my take.